Hey guys, welcome to Bitcoin Morning Brief. I was able to get in touch with Jimmy Song last minute just before going live for the price update. He was available. Jimmy's back in Austin. I'm on the East Coast. So everything potentially is going to come back the way it used to as long as we are both in the morning in our home bases. Say hi, Jimmy. Our audience missed you.
Hey guys, good to be back with Tone. Like every time I would run into people, they would say, "Hey, I watch you and Tone every day. What happened? How come you're not doing videos anymore?" We've both been traveling. I've been like, going all over the world. Man, Tone, I don't know how you do these videos on the road, man. I like I try to set one up like in Amsterdam or Tel Aviv or something, and it's just like I'm just too damn tired. I need to go to sleep and eat and get ready for travel. I don't know. Maybe I'm just getting old or something, but I can't do it.
Yeah, no, it's not easy, man. But hey, we're back on. We got you. I got you for a little bit of time. Let's just jump right into it. I know my audience has a lot of questions. I mean, a lot has changed. You've taken on a role with Blockchain Capital, and we'll talk about that maybe tomorrow. Let's save like so. And you were also at Satoshi Roundtable. Let's save that for maybe tomorrow. Maybe I can get you on for a little bit longer period of time and we'll review some of that. But since everybody missed it, let's just do the traditional, cover some news and then go over the price. You good with that, Jimmy?
That sounds great.
All right. So the latest news, and a lot of people have been asking me, is this Robinhood app, right? And now we're looking at the news. It looks like Jay-Z invested in the Robinhood app as well, and there's some details here in the story. I'll add the stories into the video description. This wasn't exactly pre-planned, so it's not really ready yet for the video description. So what do you think of the Robinhood app? Because like I have my views on it, or let me give you my views first, and then you can comment. So I just answered this question live at the LA meetup, where Robinhood app doesn't really focus on anyone with serious money. I mean, like any serious trader couldn't care less about commissions. Robinhood app focuses on these people that only have a couple of $100 to trade with, and commissions actually make a difference to them. That's why Robinhood can sign up, let's say, 1 million users, but the average user I would consider like a person that probably shouldn't be trading in the first place. So I don't really see this being a big game changer. That's my view on the situation overall.
Yeah, I've thought about this. I do think it's aimed a lot more at younger people, and a lot of them already sort of understand crypto and the value of crypto. So, I mean, it's more to get their foot in the door and get them used to using this. I view like Square's Cash App in the same vein, but I want more sort of ways for people to invest in Bitcoin. And I think you and I both have opinions on Coinbase and how they do things. I'm of the opinion that one of these guys will figure out how to do this really, really well, and at that point we'll be better. But yeah, Robinhood is it's interesting. I hope they continue to gain traction. I mean, like you're not gonna get like $100 million buys out of this app, but it's a good way for people to get exposure, and they better get used to it because Bitcoin's coming.
Yeah, no, and I agree with that. So, I mean, the politically correct term is it's aimed at young people. I seem to see it as it's aimed at kind of like poor people without their banking resources or like the resources to make those $1 million buys. So it's aimed at, the less financially inclined crowd. So I don't
Mm.
really see them making that big of a difference when it comes to moving the price.
Yeah, it's probably not going to move the price very much, but it's a way to get people in, and if they get more interested, they'll buy more and so on. Yeah, I like Robinhood. I like Square Cash. I think they're going to scale a lot faster and better than say Coinbase has been. They're still sort of struggling right now from what I'm hearing. So, you know.
Yeah, and I agree. And also on one final note, I mean, Robinhood, I mean, they have experience in, you know, markets, right? Because they've done this before Bitcoin, and they know how to integrate with exchanges and they understand trading. Coinbase kind of came out of nowhere. I don't know what experience they have.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, so it should be better. It should be definitely be better in Coinbase. All right, let's move on. So Iceland is back in the news now. We all know that Iceland has already some uh, mining operations because of their cheap energy and their use of utilizing energy through geothermal sources because of where they're located geographically. It's also bad that like KNC Miner was out of Iceland, but they couldn't compete with Bitmain. I mean, now we know that like ASIC boost probably had a lot to do with that. So it's unfortunate that KNC Miner isn't with us anymore. But so what do we think? Like, well, let's just like instead of talking about this specific story, what are your general views on the current mining environment, Jimmy?
Yeah, I mean, I think KNC Miner, along with Spondoolies and Cointerra and all of those miners of that era, they just couldn't compete with Bitmain because the technology that they were using was not up to par. I mean, Bitmain's using 16 nanometer processes. These guys were still, I think, on like 28 nanometer or whatever. So you're like the smaller the processes, the more efficiency you're going to get out of the chip, and the more of them you can print and everything else. So not surprised that KNC Miner went down. I will
Oh yeah,
say
hey,
that the
my bad on that.
geothermal energy out
Oh,
of
Jimmy,
Iceland is
Jimmy,
is really really good,
hey Jimmy,
um, and um, and it's
Jimmy.
hard to sort of transport that energy without like large energy transformers and things like that. So I can see a lot of miners sort of moving to that area. But from what Alex Petrov and other mining executives have told me, like you need to tweak your equipment based on sort of the environment. And Iceland happens to be very cold, and you have geothermal energy that you're converting into Bitcoin. Um, it's not something that's that easy. And people are obviously going to try, and I'm hearing that not just Iceland, but Quebec is another place that a lot of mining equipment is moving to, because a lot of people are kind of spooked with the Chinese government, and a lot of mining equipment is sort of moving around. That's why you're seeing sort of hash rate fluctuations that you are. I'm going to guess that Iceland's going to be one of those huge destinations, and there are more mining companies coming. I mean, we're not covering this story today, but Samsung started doing stuff with chip fabs and things like that. I imagine Intel will get in the game soon enough. NVIDIA is sort of already in the game. So I mean, we'll see. I'm excited to see what's going to happen in the next few months.
Hey, actually, KNC was out of Sweden. My bad on that. For some reason, I thought they were out of Iceland.
Oh, that's right. They were out of Sweden. That's right.
Yeah, so definitely my bad on that. All right. What else was gonna say on this one? Oh yeah. So wait. So what is Samsung starting?
They're looking into making mining chips, I think.
Wait. So
I don't know how far along they are,
is he
but I
still
mean
with Block?
they're very
Hey,
aware of the craze in South Korea. So
is he still with Blockstream?
what's that?
Is he still with Blockstream? Samsung.
I don't know.
Okay, I gotta check on that.
Not Samsung, Samsung, Samsung.
Oh, Samsung. I thought you were talking about Samsung Mile.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
we're gonna. Okay, it makes more sense now. All right, cool. Got it. All right, let's move on then. We have Bitcoin seems to be the fastest growing freelance skill in demand. I mean, we all know that people are throwing blockchain all over their LinkedIn's. You have no idea how many blockchain experts are trying to connect with me on LinkedIn. I never heard of any of these people. Yeah, well, what do you think of that?
Yeah, I mean it's not a surprise. I mean if my LinkedIn is any indication, there are tons of people. It used to be just standard. Hey, we think you're a developer. Can you interview at this particular company? And I get those pitches like once or twice a week. Nowadays, I'm getting like one or two a day about like Bitcoin specific things. Of course, that your mileage may vary. I do have sort of a public face and stuff like that, but yeah, it doesn't surprise me at all. That I mean, there's so much demand for Bitcoin developers, and frankly, a lot of these ICOs that have a lot of money that haven't built anything, they need to go hire people. So I imagine that's at least a little part of why this is such a big skill and demand.
No, no, wait,
There
wait,
aren't
wait.
that many people that.
Jimmy, why on earth would they hire people? They already made all the money they're possibly going to make by doing the ICO. Why in the world would they waste any of that money hiring a developer?
Well, they have to look like they're doing something, Tone. And there a lot of them are hiring a lot, and it doesn't really matter if you have a lot of experience. For a lot of them, they'll just hire anybody. But yeah, I mean, it's that's how the game is played. You have to at least look like you're doing something, otherwise you get into sort of like the embroilment that Tezos is in right now with all their lawsuits and such.
And our final story for the day before we go on to the price of Bitcoin is Puerto Rico. And a lot of the old school Bitcoiners that we know have moved down to Puerto Rico, mostly for tax reasons. I would guess you get a really good tax deferment by moving to Puerto Rico. But Brock Pierce is leading the charge to turn Puerto Rico into, like, the next great Bitcoin hub. And have you been down there yet? Have you spoken to these guys?
Well, I haven't been down there, but Brock talked about this at Satoshi Roundtable. I think the picture there is actually him at Satoshi Roundtable. So, but yeah, they apparently have like 1,000 acres or something. Brock's already like pledged like $1 billion to develop the place or something like that, and he talked about how there's no taxes there and all this other stuff. They're gonna have like really good internet with like a satellite uplink and all this other stuff. I don't know. It sounds like very grand promises, and who knows how much of that is real. But it doesn't surprise me. There are a lot of sort of former executives of big tech companies that sort of have moved there after they've exited. And this is not abnormal. People more or less becoming tax refugees. And that happens a lot, especially since a lot of these companies are out of New York and California, which have very punitive taxes for any entrepreneur that does really well. So, not a surprise. Brock and his wife, I think, are in Puerto Rico now, and I think they have to be there like 170 days a year or something like that. At least that's what I heard. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see how this goes. I think his vision is to make like a crypto centric place for people to come and develop companies and whatever. I think people in our audience might think it's more sort of for tax purposes and things like that. So I don't know. I don't know them very well, but that's what I heard at Satoshi Roundtable, and I am allowed to say that because he more or less has, exposed that this is what he's doing in this interview and other places as well.
Yeah, my problem with it is this. You see that?
Yeah.
That's a bit of an issue for me personally. Because he has billions in EOS because he was the main backer of EOS financially, and I think EOS is just a giant scam. So that's my personal problem with the whole situation. And
Yeah, I don't think anyone really knows what the heck EOS is really up to at this point still. We'll see. I mean, I guess they might release something eventually. Yeah, No idea
Well,
what they're doing.
well,
I
yeah,
don't know if I really want to.
another. It looks like Brock Pierce was quoted. Look at this. It
Uh-huh.
says, "I'm worried people are going to misinterpret our actions," Mr. Pierce said. That we're just coming to Puerto Rico to dodge taxes. Well, it's not again, right? If you get to save $500 million in taxes, but now you're investing that 500 million into Puerto Rico. That's what it was meant to like. This is why you get that tax break, right? Like I don't like I see that as a good thing, right? I mean, like yes, you dodge taxes and you're putting that money into a freaking into the island, which is what they're actually doing.
Yeah, I
Hopefully,
think that's what it's meant to do. But
right?
as with most government regulations, it never really has the intended effect. People figure out ways to enrich themselves and things like that. So I don't know. We'll see exactly how that plays out. Puerto Rico in general is not very prosperous for a lot of reasons. We'll see if this sort of investment actually happens.
All right. Before I get to the price, just want to remind people that I will be speaking at the University of Maryland tonight. I may or may not live stream that. I mean, I'll probably bring my equipment and I'll make the judgment call when I get there tonight at 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. All right, let's talk about the price. Are you happy about the price, Jimmy?
I mean it's looking better. It's over 9,000 now. And we can do all of those Vegeta memes again.
Yeah, that was cool actually. They're coming back. All right, so the good news is, so the overnight we broke out above 9100, which was my level for the breakout. Now, based on all metrics, the weekly chart is starting to finally look bullish with a candle trading above the prior candle's high, with the prior candle being a reversal candle. Now, the numerical indicator is still in a bearish count, and it's still possible to get a 9 to the downside. In order to get to 9, we would need, I guess, the last week of February and the first week of March to close below 8,000, which is still possible because I believe that 10,000 is going to be formidable resistance. So let's see how big of a resistance it is and how far it will shoot the Bitcoin price back. But right now, it's pretty good to be a bull. Looking at the daily chart, I'm going to zoom in here. And again, this is what I mean by 10,000 being resistance. It was support one, two, even though this one went a little lower, three, four, five, close enough, six, seven. It was support for 7 days throughout the month of January until breaking down on February 1st. So therefore, I'm expecting it to be pretty damn good resistance when we come back to 10,000. Now, the breakout is upon us. And I also talked yesterday about having these one-off price flip candles because now if we get to number three on the upside, I will almost look at it through the lens of a nine because of this one off, saying, hey, we're only off by a couple of dollars here. This should really be a nine to the upside instead. So there's some discretion that needs to be made. The 4 hour chart has been the really cool one. Why is that the 1 hour chart? Here we go. Um, the 4 hour chart has been the really good one. I drew this cup and handle yesterday saying that, hey, the moment we start to break out above 9,000, we are in this cup and handle pattern, and the target is actually a $3,000 upswing all the way to 12,000, though I do see 10,000 as a bit of a uh, hurdle that will not be easy to hop over. In addition, the 4 hour chart is now on a 4 of 9 setup and on a 4 of 13 countdown. So let's see if we get some kind of a pullback. If we can shoot up to 10,000 in the next 2 days, let's see if we can get a little bit of reversal on a 9. And we're also coming up on the 200 period moving average. I should probably throw the 128 period in there as well, see if that's been relevant in the past. But right now, the break is upon us. And I did my video last night where I basically said, hey, the moment you start breaking above 9,000, like 9,050 bucks, it's definitely an awesome bullish trade. And here is the, nope, that's Bitcoin Gold. We don't care about that anymore. I looked at it yesterday. Here's the hourly chart. I adjusted my channel a little bit last night after I did the video, so I didn't do this on live video. But after I was done with the video, my initial channel was covering this point and that point. I took another look, I zoomed out a little bit, and I'm like, hey, this is a really nice channel. So I adjusted it to this point and that point, and we hit the very top of this channel this morning, and now we're pulling back a little bit. However, we are on a 5 of 9 on the hourly, so look for maybe 4.5 more hours of upside, and then for a potential pullback. I also said that, hey, you have a bullish trade right here on the hourly chart. The moment you pop to the upside, you set a break-even stop. Assuming you took this trade at 8,600 based on the hourly chart, your I would set my um, I would set my stop loss right now either just below this this range here, or if you really want to be, you just made good money on this trade, I would actually raise it to just below the current set of candles. Like, hey, if we go down, maybe we can go back down to the 50-hour moving average and bounce back up. That's pretty much it on the price. We can take a glance at the mempool before Jimmy has to get going in about 3 minutes. Any comments on the mempool, Jimmy? Oh, we're rising up a little bit. That's actually a good thing. I hate seeing an
I
empty
mean, it's
mempool.
rising up on the blue, which is like 0 to 1 Satoshi per byte. I don't think those matter. If I mean, you should be paying probably like 2 to get in today, and I don't know. I've been like going crazy with these because you can more or less get in for really really cheap these days. So
Yeah,
yeah.
I would be paying. I would look to do a 10 Satoshi per byte transaction. That should get you confirmed in the next 2 to 3 blocks.
Yeah, I mean, you can do it for like 2 or 3, and I think you'd still get in. That light blue is the 2 to 3, I think 2 to 5, and there's almost none of that. A lot of people are paying 5 to 10, but those will get eaten pretty soon. Just as a note, at least from what I've read, a lot of the consolidation or a lot of the um, mempool clearing has to do with Coinbase because they started implementing some more efficient ways to do things, and that's cleared a huge part of the mempool is from what I've
Yeah,
heard
it's
is that.
it's about damn time.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
Jesus.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, I mean that's what we're seeing, and I'm glad that they're doing it. Maybe they have some breathing room now that the price is down a little bit and not as many people are signing up and their servers aren't blowing up or whatever. So good on them. If you slam them when they're doing bad, you have to also praise them when they're doing good. So there you go.
Well, okay, let's hold our horses there. They're doing what they're supposed to be doing. All right, let's.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
All right. Any closing thoughts before we let you go, and then maybe I'll take a few questions from the audience. Even though I don't think I have anyone filtering questions. Maybe I'll try to just glance through the live chat.
Yeah, I have to get going, but this song is done.
All right. Bye, Jimmy.
Bye.
All right, guys. Let me. It was great to have Jimmy back on again. Yeah. So there you go. We never got into a fight. It's good that we're back on Valentine's Day. I probably should have mentioned it. But yeah, no, we've just been both busy traveling and just lost touch for a few weeks. But maybe now we're back. All right, let me see if there's any good questions from the audience. Um, all right, here's something. Um, Toad, were you talking about POS the other day? I don't think so. Is not Lightning a POS system on top of a POW system? No, absolutely not. I mean, you have to fund your channels to allow payments. The reason why Lightning is not a POS system is because you don't create money out of thin air for having money. My problem with POS is that the rich get richer. Like, you don't earn more Bitcoin for having Bitcoin, but you do earn more, I don't know, garbage like Steam for having more Steam. And Ethereum's been trying to go to this nonsense forever, but I don't think they can. Uh, but no, the problem with POS is that you get to earn more token for having a token. Lightning doesn't do that. Lightning doesn't create Bitcoin out of thin air and hand it to the Bitcoin owners. So no, it's completely different. Someone is asking me to research flat Earth. Guys, I have a degree in geology. Tone, is the red price flip a signal to exit long trades? And the answer is usually. It usually is, but there is some discretion involved. Okay, I'm not going to get into the details. Oh man, too bad Jimmy. Too bad Jimmy isn't here to listen to this question, but I'll read it anyway. Um, actually, you know what? Let me text Jimmy that question. Then I'll read it. All right, so here's the question. Colin, would you rather see Jimmy wearing nothing but that hat or have Bitcoin go to $1,000? I'm gonna plead a fifth on this. It's a good question though. I don't want to see Bitcoin going to $1,000. So there you go. And I'm not homophobic, so I can live with that. So there you go. So that's my quasi answer to the question. Now, would I want to stream it on my YouTube channel? Then it's now the answer gets more complicated. I love bacon. Thank you for the question. Tone, you should warn people about the Square Cash App. I mean, warn them how? I'm not familiar with it. I've never used it. I mean, I warned people about Coinbase when Coinbase came out because I don't think people should use their identity to buy Bitcoin or sell Bitcoin. So it's the same warning, but people don't care. Tone, do you think Coin Daddy's music is good? Yeah, I do. I like it. Thoughts on Heike Ashi candles? I don't know how to read them. I've never learned them. I've never looked at them. Am I planning to come to Nashville? I don't think so. I haven't really planned it yet. How do you get these numbers on top of your candles? Oh, I didn't do my usual disclaimer. Hold on a second, guys. All right. Where's my website? My website is all screwed up. Yeah, so please read the consulting section of Liberty Life Trail if you are interested in having these numbers on top of your candles. Also, to understand what these numbers on top of the candles mean, please go to the Learn Trading section of the Liberty Life Trail website. Once I gotta fix my website. All my links are like not displaying a different color. So section 6 explains what they are. And if you really want to understand it, please attend or think about attending one of my trading seminars. My next trading seminar being this Saturday in Washington, then New York the following Saturday. And then the only other one that's 100% definite is the one in San Francisco. Also, if you'd like to support my work, please check out the affiliates and referral section. And if you are interested in any of these products or services, go ahead and click the links when you're signing up. All right, there you go. My usual disclaimer. Where can I dispose Bcash in an environmentally friendly way? I mean, just sell it on any exchange. They're all about the same. I do want to come to India. I really do, but I want to come to India like I'm going to Australia, right? Like I'm planning to come to Australia for an entire month in November and do my seminar in a bunch of cities and actually enjoy Australia and check it out. I want to do the same thing for India. So I don't want to come to India for like a week, right? I want to come to India for a month. And I don't have a free month this year. So maybe next year, I don't know, maybe March or April next year, but I also need to go to South Africa, which I'm not going to get to this year. So I don't know, maybe I'll do March in South Africa and April in India next year. And then in May, I'll probably hit up Thailand again. I really like, and this goes into my next question, your favorite country besides USA? I really like Thailand, guys. I really do. Big fan of Thailand. Let's see here. Tone, when you called the 5,750 bottom, you used the channel saying no support for anything in 6,000. Um, no, I don't think I called that. I don't think I called the 6,000 bottom in real time because the 6,000 bottom came out of nowhere. I was calling for a $7,500 bottom and then to 5,000. So the 600 the $6,000 bottom I did not call ahead of time. Now, what helped identify um, the $6,000 bottom were, the combo 13 and the aggressive 13. And we had a 13 for like a minute on the normal 13. And on the daily chart, oh yeah, I'm not sharing screen right now. Hold on. So on the 4 hour chart, I know my clients have this is being released later this month. The combo and aggressive 13 were one candle off on the 4 hour, and the daily chart was one off a nine. And again, this countdown to a nine was only off by a few dollars. So using some discretion, there were plenty of reason to consider this eight to be a formidable resistance and this volume spike and the shape of the candle. But I did not call 6,000 ahead of time. I called 7,500 ahead of time. This one here as a reversal because that's where I was looking at the, or actually, well, it was 7,600 on other exchanges, not Bitfinex. Um, but I'm not gonna, give myself credit where that I didn't earn. But thank you for thinking that. I don't remember a channel there, so I'm not sure what that question is referring to. Sorry. Tone, why should someone run a Bitcoin node? Can an average laptop run a node? Yes, I have about a 7-year-old laptop running a Bitcoin node. Uh, the laptop is, I think it's 4 gigs of RAM, 350 hard drive, and I think it's like an i5 or an i3. Like it's a really old laptop. Really, I bought it on Amazon for about, I don't know, $160. So The reason you run your own node is so that you can validate your own transactions. That's the main reason to run a node. So in the description of this video, there is a link to setting up your own node. So please read that over and it will give you some more information. I was actually in Aruba in December, but yeah, I'm not gonna do a seminar on Aruba. I mean, how many people could I possibly get? But I did make it to Aruba. I made it there in December. My family was there, so as I was flying back to Colombia from Toronto, I stopped by Aruba for a few days. Have I looked at a 3-hour chart? No, not in a while. I don't feel like doing it right now. Let's see next. Why not Indonesia? I can't get to everywhere, guys. I'll make it. I'll make it to Bali. I was thinking about going to Bali when I was in Singapore, but just didn't have enough time. Tone, a lot of people are saying that the pump was caused by the fake news of Tether being printed. No opinion. Germany, maybe. I mean, I was in Germany last year. I might come to Germany again. I don't know. I'll be in Europe in September. I haven't decided yet. I think I'm going to start in London. I'm going to start in early September. I'm going to start in London. And then early October, I'm going to end in Prague. But I don't know where I'm going to be in between yet. So Germany is always an option. GBTC, I commented in a couple of videos ago. I'm not going to get into it now. Um, Someone is asking me what time frame does the time indicator works best on. I like using it on daily the most, but it's supposed to work across any time frame. Just you want to be in sync with multiple time frames. Um, what's up with Litecoin? I don't know. I haven't looked at it this morning. Um, Where do you suggest you buy Bitcoin without KYC? Local Bitcoins, find some people, make some contacts, go to some meetups, make friends. Am I still going to Thailand in October? Yeah, as of right now, yeah, but like, unless I buy the plane ticket, nothing's certain. Is there a way for users to use the Bitmax code if they're already on Bitmax? Probably not. Tone, what's a good exchange to use? I mean, I kind of I got a soft spot for BitMax. I was a beta tester of that platform. They've been doing a good job. No one's ever been scammed yet. They haven't been hacked yet. So um, I'm a BitMax fan. Finland, guys, it's freaking cold. Maybe in the summertime, Finland. I know, like like the whole Scandinavia region, right? Like Finland and Sweden and Norway. Again, I need like a month so I can go to each of the countries. What do I tell my barber if I want a tone haircut? I don't know. Good luck. I don't know who Jesse Felders is. Oh, the crypto Sasquatch. uh, is it the same crypto Sasquatch? Hold on a second here. Hold on, I'm Googling something. I'll share a screen in a second. Um, No, there's more than one. Damn. I tweeted it out too. Give me a second, guys. Damn, I can't find it now. Maybe it's in my YouTube liked videos. Hold on. Yep, that's it. There it is. Yep, same one. All right, screen share. All right, so here's the here's a comment from the Crypto Sasquatch. Guys, check out the video exposing Tone Base on my channel. The world needs to know. So I actually watched this video. I forgot who sent it to me. I think Vortex did. So the Crypto Sasquatch YouTube channel, dude, this video was hilarious. Like I don't really I haven't figured out yet how to play like volume, uh but yeah, I actually like really enjoyed this video. Uh, the Bitcoin horoscope. Anyway, this video made me laugh. It's only like 2 minutes and 50 seconds. Like I can't really play the audio. Maybe I could. Anyway, I thought this was funny. So yeah, thanks for watching my videos, man. All right, next. Do you think we will go down further, guys? I don't know. Like I take it 1 week at a time, right? Tone, what will it mean if we blast through 10,000 without much resistance? Ooh, I don't know. Let's deal with that. I mean, I'll be here. Like I'm doing videos every day. I don't expect to wake up tomorrow at like $12,000 Bitcoin. So I'll think about that situation if it comes upon us. Um, So someone says there's a 6,000 line on Fibonacci. If you do the Fibonacci from zero to the top, yeah, but like, why would you do a Fibonacci like that? I mean, you can. I would go from zero. Like, if anything, I would go from 150, which is almost zero compared to 20,000. So it's about the same. Yeah, that could be it. 6,000 could be a Fibonacci line. I didn't see it. I didn't have it. Tone, you should have a film crew documentary, your Bitcoin travels and educational seminars. I was already talking to someone about that, but it would only be for like a week. I don't know if I want the rest of my life on on camera. But yeah, that'd be fun. I have been thinking about it. Thank you. Finbarius777. Can you talk about risk management and how to minimize risk? Well, I kind of do every time I give you an idea for a stop loss, right? Also, don't put too much on any given trade. Oops, live chat just jumped a lot. Who takes the counterparty risk at BitMax at 100x leverage? That's a good question, okay? So my best answer to that would be because BitMax is so liquid, they might be able to liquidate your 100x position without really having a big counterparty risk. Now, also check through their disclaimers. It's possible that they will socialize the losses across the winners, but I'm not sure. Like when BitMax started out, they only had a maximum of like 2.75 leverage because they were not interested in socializing the losses like exchanges like 796 had. They're not around anymore. Like 796 and OK Coin. I mean, they were offering 20x leverage with socialized losses to avoid the counterparty risk. Now, BitMax didn't want to have any counterparty risk, so they kept the leverage to a minimum. They kept it to the amount of leverage that they can manage to properly liquidate your position without taking on any loss for themselves or for themselves basically. Now that they're at 100x leverage, and if they don't socialize the losses, then they take on the counterparty risk. But I'm pretty sure that they're liquid enough that they're capable of you know selling your position to the next, high flying trader that their risk is limited. It's kind of like what the CME does, right? Like the CME allows you 50x leverage trading on oil, and I think it's like 33x leverage on gold, or something like 40x leverage on gold. And the reason they're able to do that, and they take on the counterparty risk themselves, but it's very, very minimal because there is enough liquidity that even if a big whale is forced to be liquidated, there is enough demand for them to transfer that position over to the next guy, right? So that's kind of how it's normally done. Um, all right, next. Uh, if I sweep a paper wallet with Bitcoin stored on it before the Bcash fork, will those private keys still retain their Bcash value? Well, it's slightly yes, but you're not thinking about it correctly, right? If you have a paper wallet from before the Bcash days, you can sweep that wallet into all of its forks, right? So it's not like you're sweeping it and then you have it. Like once you sweep it into Bitcoin, it's only Bitcoin, but don't throw away that paper wallet. You're supposed to sweep that wallet into multiple wallets of the fork. Or you can sweep the wallet into a Bitcoin Gold wallet. You sweep that wallet into a Bcash wallet, and you sweep that wallet into a Bitcoin wallet. So you sweep the private key of your paper wallet into its forked coins. Okay. Like once you sweep it into Bitcoin, there's nothing you can do with that private key to get your Bcash. So don't throw away that paper wallet after you sweep it into Bitcoin. You're then supposed to sweep it the second time into Bcash. University of Maryland event. It's in the description of my YouTube video. Tone, have you checked out the latest Bitcoin hip hop track called Bitcoin No Problems? It mentions you. I don't think so. I don't think I've seen that. Send out a tweet, Radar R. Tag me. All right, guys. I think I'm good. This video is gone for almost an hour. Uh, so thanks for watching. I mean, I don't really have any thoughts on Acapulco. I mean, I'm not going there this year. I was a speaker there first 3 years. Wasn't asked to speak this year, so I'm not just gonna go somewhere that I'm not a speaker at. It's a waste of my time. I was gonna go there and do my trading seminar, but I didn't see enough demand, and I just decided to do it in DC and New York instead, and LA that I just did. Um, so I don't know. It's gotten too scammy. I mean, their sponsors are all scammers. So like, why would I want to be there? All right, guys. On this note, I am gonna call it a day. I'm at the University of Maryland tonight. Maybe I'll stream live. Maybe I won't. I have no idea. It'll be a surprise to all of us. All right. Let's thank Jimmy Song once again for coming on this morning, and we'll try and be back again tomorrow morning. All right. Talk to you all then.